Hi, so welcome to the ScratchEd Meetups Network info session. Today we're going to talk about three things. One, the ScratchEd Meetups Network. Two, ScratchEd Meetups themselves. And three, how you can get started in participating or organizing your own ScratchEd Meetup. So let's get started. First, just to introduce myself, my name is Alexa Cutler, and I am a research project manager for the Creative Computing Lab at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. So enough about me, let's dive into meetups. So first, what even is a ScratchEd meetup? So ScratchEd meetups are essentially peer-designed professional learning experiences inspired by unconferences. So these learning experiences cater specifically to K-12 educators who are using or interested in using Scratch in their classrooms. So at a ScratchEd meetup, rather than having predefined stations and speakers, participants decide what they're going to learn on any given day. So in this context, knowledge or expertise is defined more by the shared experience that emerges from the group than by the information which is given from a single outside source. So the type of learning that happens at a meetup then is not only about what you're taking away, so it could be a lesson plan or an assessment tool that someone showed you, but also the atmosphere and ethos that you experience while you're there. We're hoping that even that inspires what you bring to your classroom. So Meetup's core commitments revolve around building community, playful learning, and reflective practice. So to support these commitments, meetups are typically broken into 4 parts. First, we have food and networking, where participants get to know one another or catch up if they've been to meetups before. They share snacks and get familiar with the space. Next, we build the day's schedule. So during schedule buildings, participants will take a sticky note and jot down on that sticky note one topic related to teaching with Scratch that they're drawn to. So you can have really as many sticky notes as you'd like. This could be yours. So you might write a question such as, how can I get started? Or a topic like Scratch and math or extensions. And after a participant is ready to share their sticky note, they'll paste it on a designated wall where others have posted notes. And then participants, as well as facilitators, will work together to organize all of the sticky notes into distinct breakout groups. So for example, if one person wrote down Intro to Scratch and another, How do I start? And another, Educating for New Learners, we would create a breakout session that could accommodate all of those questions as they revolve around a common theme. So you can take a look at this in-action picture of one of our ScratchEd meetup activities. There's a lot going on. So just, take a moment. Okay. So here's a sample breakout schedule translated from sticky notes into actual breakout session categories. You'll see that there's a ton of different topics represented. As you can imagine, sometimes the links between sticky notes aren't quite as obvious. So if there's a set of suggestions that don't quite match up with any of the categories, we'll always have a water cooler breakout group where people can come and chat about a diverse array of topics. So once the schedule is built and we've gone over the day, the breakout sessions begin. So breakout sessions involve a facilitator to help guide the conversation and a note taker to help document the experience. The sessions last anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, and at each meetup there can be anywhere between 3 to 10 total breakout sessions, depending on how many people are at the meetup. So in any given meetup, there could be between 5 to 10 people, or some of the city's meetups are even bigger, so they'll have 15 to 30. Even up to 50 people. The format of Meetup can accommodate all types of groups. So that's the really special thing, is that even if there are 10 people or 20 people, you'll still get a really unique experience each time. So during the breakout sessions, one of the most important characteristics to keep in mind is that we adhere to the rule of 2 feet. This means that if you're at a session on Scratch and social studies, but you also want to check out the Makey table, you're welcome to walk over at any time. So you can visit all of the breakout groups or stay at one the whole time. It's really up to you. Again, this is about participants or you designing your own learning experience. And so lastly, we have sharing and reflecting. We feel really strongly that sharing work and ideas, as well as reflecting on practice, are integral parts of any learning experience because they help to generate takeaways and solidify our learning. During the final part of the meetup, then, participants sign up to share about their experience in the breakout groups, as well as anything they've been working on or related to teaching with Scratch. So this is a point in the meetup where a lot of people actually get great things that they can take back into their classroom. So this person here might be sharing a Scratch project that they've been working on in their classroom, and I might say, oh, that seems like something I can remix for my class. And then you talk to them, you learn about it, etc. So participants will also have the chance to reflect on their day of practice through a brief reflection protocol, which really changes at every meetup depending on what the organizers want to ask on any given day. So now that you have a sense of what happens at meetups, I'm going to share a bit about the values that support them. This is our values poster. And if you take some time to look at it, you'll see we chose phrases and words that we felt really captured the essence of ScratchEd Meetup's values. We included ideas like start where you are, because we want to make sure that whether you've been using Scratch for years or you've just started, you feel welcome in the space. You can see that we've also included other things like be open to inspiration, share what you make, connect with others, because we feel that learning really happens through connection and that you all are yourselves wonderful resources for one another. So ultimately, with over 1,800 members across 28 cities in 7 countries, the ScratchEd Meetups Network is a collection of educators who are passionate about building community and shared creative practice around teaching with Scratch. So now, how can you become a part of this network? So first step is to look and see whether there's already a meetup represented in your location. So you can see the 28 cities represented here. Should you find one there, you simply go to meetup.com/pro/ScratchEd, click on your site, and then message the organizer to see when the next meetup is happening, if there isn't already one scheduled, or ask them how you can get involved. So if you don't see your city represented on the site or here, and you're wondering how to start your own, here are some helpful guidance. So first, we often get asked the question of, can I start a ScratchEd meetup? Who do I need to be? Am I supposed to be a Scratch expert? And we have a pretty simple answer to that. So we encourage anyone who meets the following criteria to get in touch with us to see about organizing a ScratchEd meetup. So 1, you're familiar with Scratch. You do not have to be an expert to be a meetup organizer, but it's good, to have spent some time with the program and be a bit familiar with it. And 2, you're an educator or former educator. Again, meetups are specifically for educators, so we feel it's really important that you or your co-organizer is an educator. And 3, you're excited about organizing learning experiences for other educators in the spirit of democratizing access to creative computing education. So if you've answered yes to these questions, then our answer is yes. We would encourage you to get in touch with us and see about starting a meetup. So how do you even do that? Let's see. So if you go to meetups.gsc.harvard.edu/organize, you can read through what we've created, the ScratchEd Meetup Guide, and note any questions that you have. So essentially, the Meetup Guide will walk you through every step of organizing a meetup, of running a meetup. It's an illustrated little children's book type artifact. And so I think it's a really fun way to get to know what goes into actually structuring and creating a meetup. So you read through that. After you've gone on the site, you'll find it. It's pretty easy. And then email us to set up a time to talk. So our email is scratched@gsc.harvard.edu. And when we talk, it's essentially just an opportunity for us to, 1, meet you and welcome you, and 2, see what your interests are and whether they align with our understanding of ScratchEd Meetup and perhaps inform our understanding of what they can be. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. Again, go to meetup.com/pro/ScratchEd to see if there's already a meetup site in your area, and email us with any questions at scratched@gsc.harvard.edu. All right, thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you. I'm done, BA!